What's going on YouTube? This is LA Prepper with kind of a quick video. Um, Read this here for you. She was fined $5,600 for a few chickens. Now she is suing to end prosecution fees in Indio and Coachella. Excuse me. So, why am I talking about this? Well, she was trying... Okay, so she didn't have the chickens. She was a property owner and her tenant had chickens. And man, that's really crappy. Her tenant, she gave a warning to her tenant. The tenant did not get rid of the chickens. They went to court. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The city wanted her to pay prosecution fees, basically the attorney fees for the prosecution. That's not super common. Sometimes if you lose a case, the judge can award attorney's fees to one side or the other. I don't know if there's specific circumstances in which judges can do that or if they can always do that, but it's their discretion. But it's a pretty shady thing. You know, they're talking about these cities, Indio and Coachella, hiring this law firm to attack these people. And not only that, but you know, if they lose the lawsuit, if they can't pay the fees, they'll take their house. Like, Jesus. Pretty serious stuff. So, you know, I'm not going to get into like a political thing of, you know, damn the man and we should have our chickens and that, right? You know, if you live in India or Coachella, you feel strongly about chickens, talk to your local representatives and, you know, see what the chicken lobby is doing, right? But I mention this because I just made a video about buying land. And what was I talking about in buying land? Like rules and regulations, county and city. I don't think I was talking that much about regulations regarding animals, but definitely never ever assume that just because you buy a home in not a very urban area, that having chickens is okay, that having pigs is okay, that having any kind of animal is okay, that building a permanent structure is okay, that parking an RV on your land is okay, that, you know, building your own house. I mean, even things like you might be able to build a structure, but maybe you want to build 3 houses. Who knows? Maybe you want to build 4 garages. Well, maybe the rule is you can only have one main structure per lot. I don't know, you know? Could be all sorts of crazy stuff, right? So, or if you're zoned residential, then you can only have this size of a building, but you want to have a big barn and, you know, on and on and on, right? So, point is, do your diligence when you are looking for land to purchase. If you are a landlord, when you have an issue with your tenant, it can help to have a third party. For example, if this owner was on better terms with her neighbors, she could have asked her neighbors very discreetly, do my tenants still have chickens in the back? And if the answer was yes, after the warning, you know, it would suck. You know, it's unfortunate to have to evict your tenants over chickens, but I mean, if you're looking at code enforcement and they're not following the code, you really don't have a choice. So she would have had to file eviction. Hopefully they would have moved out on their own accord. If not, they could have had several months in the property as far as the service and if they were avoiding service and if she had to publish and all that nonsense, right? So either way, you know, it can be a pain to kind of deal with this stuff, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if you, you know, if you're thinking about land or if you own land currently and you want to do stuff on it, you're not sure whether or not you can do something, double check. You know, there are people that do things without permits on their property and that's up to them, but you know, the city comes and catches you, could be a fine or worse, right? So just wanted to give you a quick update on this really interesting story that I picked up. Of course, there's a more interesting story in the news that I will probably make a video about shortly. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy.